Hello folks, Abfielder here, back with another Snapshot video, and today we're looking at the experimental Snapshot 2. It's for the 1.18 Caves and Cliffs update, and it has all the terrain update, generation updates in it. If you need to know how to install the experimental updates, they're slightly different than normal snapshots. I've done a video on that very subject, link will be in the top right hand corner right now. If you're just here to look at this week's changes, then let's crack on with it. And the first thing we can talk about is that there's an increased chance of finding flatter terrain. So in last week's snapshot, it was very hilly indeed, and finding an area where you might want to build a base or what have you was looking very, very tricky. Good news is that it's not quite as bad now, and I'm in a very good area to demonstrate this. Much, much flatter, but don't get me wrong, there are still lots of hills and mountains. So next thing that we can talk about, since we're in a pretty good place for it, is that beaches are beachier. They have made beaches wider. Now let's get the F3 screen on, and actually that's a desert. So that's a terrible, terrible example. Is this a beach over here? This is a beach over here. So you get these big wide beaches now, and you also get areas where there are no beaches, and it looks super cool. And we'll keep an eye out as we fly around here, see if we can find any more. Like the cliffs going into the water. Let's have a look. Is this beach? Yeah, this is quite cool over here. So you get these beachier beaches, and I think that's a very good change. Beaches in previous versions of Minecraft didn't look that great. What have we got here? Is this the Eroded Badlands? It's not a big one, but it is. Yeah, Eroded Badlands are back. That's another change this week. Last week, Eroded Badlands didn't exist, so it's good that that has been fixed. They're one of my favorite biomes. Microbiomes are biome placement in general is smoother, and what they mean by that is there's less of the microbiomes you might have seen in experimental snapshot 1, and we'll probably struggle to really find one now. I think we've got one here. So this is an extreme hills. I'm surprised they brought this back actually, but as you can see, it is rather small. We have the savanna, we have the jungle, and then we have this tiny little extreme hills biome. They aren't trying to get rid of them completely. They're going to be keeping these microbiomes, but there should be less of them in this version of the snapshot, and that is a good change because it looked a little bit odd, and yeah, they needed to tone that down a bit, so I'm glad they have done that. Right, next change. Clouds used to spawn at roughly the level I'm at now. They, in line with the fact that the world height is now increased, are up, and we're still up, and we still haven't hit the clouds. 192, and we're into the clouds. So clouds 192, although if I'm being honest, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to turn them off anyway. Right, let's locate biome, and let's head to the Meadow Biome. Let's see how well this works. Okay, let's allow this to spawn in. It's one of the problems when you do these videos in real time. What has happened here? Is that I don't remember the dark oak tree. They're dark oak trees. I don't remember them looking like that before. Have they changed the leaves for those on 1.18? I don't normally use the standard Minecraft data pack now. Are we in a meadow or not? We are in a meadow. It's not the greatest meadow. This looks like it's a very high up one on a hill, but this looks like one that's quite small. So the changes that they've made here is that sheep will spawn, and there are more rabbits, and there are less donkeys now. I can't really show you this because there are none in this biome. Right, swamps now generate. That was buggy last week, so let's do locate biome, swamp. Let's head over there. And let's wait for this to come on, render. Here we go. Awesome, we have a swamp. I still think swamps need a little bit of work, but they are now generating. All you got last week was like a little tiny swamp in the ocean with absolutely no land whatsoever. So they are back as well. Locate biome, ice spikes are back. So if we click on this, and here we go, if it renders in, what has happened here? Well, what's happened? Right, okay, I'm completely in the ground. So yeah, still another microbiome there, isn't it? So that's not great. And then we still have these odd sort of things here, like snow right next to a swamp. which I'm not overly keen on. So, yeah, I still think they need to do a little bit more work on this. They've said the next snapshot won't be out for a few more weeks, so plenty of time for them to do some work. So have a look around, give Mojang some feedback if you see some weird stuff. Right, let's head into spectator mode. And let's head underground to have a look at the cave generation, because that has changed as well. And then I think one more change that I want to show you, and then we will call that time for this video, because these are quick looks. We don't go into massive depth. So cheese caves on average are smaller, and it's pretty hard to tell unless you have been in and looking at these snapshots. But yeah, they are definitely smaller. But you can still get massive ones, and I'm trying to find one now. Here we go. This looks pretty big. I mean, these are so cool. That's going to be a nightmare to put a perimeter in. Look at that. So they're still pretty big, but on average, they are smaller now. Right, can we find a spawner? We've got a... This one might be difficult to demonstrate. We've got a mine shaft here. Have we got a cave spider spawner? That is the question. Can it be easier if this was a stream? Because I could just ask people to shout out if they see one. Right. Let's go into creative mode. Does that light them? Yes, it does. Right. Let's get a torch. Let's see if this works. Right. Light level 11. So this has been changed slightly because of the change in light levels. Spawners were basically, you could just put a torch pretty much anywhere near it and it would stop stuff spawning. So actually this will now continue to spawn stuff up to light level 11. Do I need to be in survival? I might, no, perfect, that worked. I wasn't sure. So yeah, you can see I put a torch on there, but it hasn't disabled it. Now keep in mind, I have the effect night vision on, so it is dark around here, light levels 8 and what have you. So this means it's more of a challenge to light up a spawner in itself, and actually as well, game rule spawner, no, apparently there was a new, let's see if we can see it, scroll down here. There is a new rule to change the light levels to affect these things, but I'm not sure what it was called. I'd have to go and look that back up. Right, I think those are the major changes that I can show you in a quick look video. It's already a long video for a quick look video. I tend to like to keep them at the 5-minute mark. Folks, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Please consider giving the channel a subscribe. Anyway, folks, I'm Abfielder. That's all I got time for. Goodbye.